The Kolkata Knight Riders. This is a different team to what we saw in the first leg of the IPL. So on Maruti Suzuki presents ESPNcricinfo T20 timeout. We're going to try and figure with Carlos Brathwaite and Dasgupta whether this high risk, high reward strategy they've adopted seems to be paying off now. Is something we can expect more of. Ian Bishop said they've imbibed the spirit of Brendan McCullum in the last game. And Deep, you were on that chat too. We were discussing this new look Kolkata. Is this the way to go now for them?
Yes, it's working, so why not? Listen, this is the brand of cricket that we've seen from Brendan McCullum and Morgan every time he captains England. It takes a while for the team to adapt to a new captain and a new philosophy. I think they've done it beautifully. And also it helps the fact that Venkatesh Iyer batting the way he is. Shubman Gill, again, you can see that freedom and little more fearlessness in Shubman Gill's batting as well, looking at that strike rate and way he's gone about in the last couple of games. Same with Rahul Tripathi. I think it also helps that you have those experienced players in the middle order. Andre Russell looking in form, Morgan himself, and Dinesh Karthik. I think that gives a little more freedom to the youngsters batting top of the order to come out and bat freely.
And they seem to be batting that way against top quality bowling. Mumbai Indians was bowled Milne, Bumrah, Carlos. I can never make sense of all this until it actually happens. Guy you don't know plays in the IPL and says, "Yeah, it's easy to hit Bumrah and Bolt and the likes."
Yeah, as a young player coming in, not much people know about you. Obviously, the local boys on the circuit would know, but the international players probably wouldn't have known a lot about him. I can't imagine how much Boomer would have seen of him. And yeah, you got a three-game grace period where you come out, no one knows about you, you're exciting, you flare them all over the place, and then people start to think, okay, let's talk about this guy in the team chats in preparation for KKR. And as you mentioned, the embodiment of Brendan McCullum and Owen Morgan, it really didn't look like a Brendan McCullum team in the first half of the IPL. It looked a bit slow, it looked a bit dreamy. And then you see the performance the other day and you think, okay, they're onto something. It seems as though they finally bought into how McCullum used to play. And I know that's the way he would want them to play. And it looks good. It looks good on KKR. This is the KKR we're accustomed seeing. The days of Brandon McCullum, Sarav Ganguly, you talk about Robin Utapa, Sunil Narayan, Gautam Gambhir. They take the attack to the bowlers in the power play. So we could be seeing another partnership for years to come with Shubman Gill and Venkatesh Iyer.
Their opposition though for this one being the Super Kings, you think this is the team that you've got? They tend to outsmart you. They just keep it simple. The Mumbai seemed shell shocked with the way they were receiving. They were watching Venkatesh Iyer. You've now got Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur, maybe Josh Hazelwood, an informed Dwayne Bravo. What are we expecting? The same sort of approach for the Super Kings, or is it going to be a little more challenging?
I think the approach is going to be the same. I think that's how they play. I mean, that's the brand of cricket that they've been playing so far, and that's how uh, on Morgan's team and Brendan McCullum's team they play. So I don't see there be any changes in the approach per se. But it'll be interesting because so far, I mean, the top order has fired, obviously because they're taking more risk. Chances are in one of those games you might lose early wickets, and that'll be interesting how the middle order, because at this point in time, the middle order has not got an opportunity. And also in the first leg, they haven't really fired the middle order. So it'll be interesting to see if there are early wickets. How does the KKR middle order cope with it?
It's quite amazing that this high risk, high reward approach, and we still haven't seen anything of Andre Russell or Sunil Narayan, the batters, Carlos.
Yeah, and I think the high risk, high reward will actually pay dividends because, as Deep said, you go hard, you lose a few wickets, all of a sudden you find Captain Owen Morgan with a chance to bat from the eighth over, bat some balls, get his eye in, and we know he can go big. Same thing for Sunil Narayan. I know Russell don't like to bat too many balls. He says once the bird is still on the ball, the Kookaburra logo, he prefers to sit and watch it from the dugout. But you have someone like Dinesh Karthik, you have someone like Sunil, you have someone like Owen Morgan, even a Nitish Rana, if he gets a go at, let's say, a 3 or 4. If you go hard in the beginning, you get to 50 off the power play, 50 for 1, 50 for 2, then all of a sudden it gives a little bit of a buffer for that Miller to come in and, soak up a few balls, as they say, get the eye in the lead up to a massive back end. We know what the hitters and the finishers can do in the bottom, but in the first leg, they were coming in with too much to do. So if the top order can take a little bit of stress off of them, it allows them to either come in and play the natural game a little earlier, or it allows them to come in and get the eyes in and then go big at the back end.
All right, Carlos, Deep, thank you very much. Let's see. This is a mouth-watering contest. Kolkata against Chennai. Both teams having won 2 out of 2 in the restart, and we'll see which approach pays off. This was Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricinfo for T20 Timeout.
We call it people technology.